Let me get to the.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to the Eternal Dawn. It is I, your captain, Straw Hat Lucas, and I'm joined today by, let's start with Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Mo, my vice captain and frontline combatant, Mr. NoChillDill. How are we doing today?
Yo, what is up? It's your boy, Straw Hat Dill, here once again.
Oh, wait, I have something for this now. I have something for this.
Go, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, vexyz, the lurking legend.
And it's like he's here with us. And next up, one of my closest friends, someone I treat like a brother, the first mate and historian of the Eternal Dawn, Mr. Kube of the Red Sea. How we doing today, Kube?
Hey man, I'm excited. It's a fiery chapter. We've got some W's and a special guest from the TED channel that appeared on this week's chapter, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, are you talking about Dill?
Well, actually, you know what, guys? I am going to do this. So, as you know, Shaka seemed to be inspired by Eudoron, or at least a nod to Eudoron. And after I don't know how long we've been into One Piece, chapter 1129, we have to give it, guys. Josh has made an appearance in the chapter as the name Rhodes. Please don't tell me when you saw that panel of Rhodes, it looks just like Josh. So congrats, Josh, you made it.
It does look exactly like Josh. Guys, there is a poll that will be running for the entire stream in chat. If everyone in chat could vote on that, I would love to know your. Someone already said mid.
I had to balance it out.
Yeah, I had to balance it out and said, these are the things the vice captain does, yes. 3D in the chat!
Yeah, shout out to 3D in the chat. Will of Dream as well. There was a guy.
I didn't vote for mid.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Uh-oh. Will? Was that you? Uh-oh. Stream! My Discord crashed. Kube and Dill cannot hear me, but stream can, and all of the things on the screen look like gears. Oh my goodness. Oh no. I'm back, don't worry. The stream could hear me, but you guys could not.
Yeah, I don't understand. Listen, 3D, I'm really questioning a lot. You didn't read the chapter, so you put mid? That's crazy.
3D hasn't got to read the chapter yet?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. You only hear Lucas. Yeah, I'm back now. Everyone should be able to... Gear 6 making its debut. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that, though. I've got to fix that real quick. Guys, discuss. First thoughts on the chapter. While I fix this. Oh, there we go. Never mind, I got it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the stream. Those weird gears appear in front of us. That's why. And now we're back. Yeah, we're fully back. I think everyone can hear us. Can everyone? I know that 3D can hear. They'll just talk quickly and see chat if chat can hear you as well. Apparently, they can hear me now.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy, Straw Hat Dill, and Dill, the lurking legend. What is up? I am here once again.
Okay, our icons are there, but they are not flashing when we're talking. I guess today's stream is just one of those streams, guys. That's okay.
No, 3D can hear Dill as well, so we're good.
No, I know. Our reaction images are frozen on OBS, though.
It's
okay. Things happen. So, to get us started, though, did any of us expect it to be Rhodes? I did not expect it. Like, let's just rip that Band-Aid off now. Never once did I expect it to be the navigator of the new giant warrior pirates.
Yeah. The only thing I'll pat myself on the back because Lucas and you and I offline with Knack, we've been talking about that of how Origin has been making a lot of like since Dressrosa, it seems that he is more connected to the Straw Hats, and I told like the fact that he didn't even speak to Robin, which makes it very interesting.
Yeah.
I just obviously we just have to give it to Tekken for calling that before even the spoilers came out. Only Tekken
that's
saw it.
crazy. Literally, like 2 days, I think it was, or 1 day.
It must have been 1 day before, I think.
Yeah, the spoilers came out. My man is just like, hey, do you guys remember Rhodes? That's who it is. Shout out Knack Reacts in the chat as well. We already got some goats in the chat. All right, let's start things out like we did last chapter reaction. Now that we've got the weird Rhodes thing out of the way, cover story peak this week. I mean, we got to see the Shinobi. We got to see Otama. Otama is learning her ninjutsu. Hopefully, we hear her say nin soon as she uses some ninja magic there.
Okay, I'm gonna say something, and this fits on the same thing. I said I don't believe in the world of One Piece people age normally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's not about experience. Because look at Otama, and I look back, she's clearly matured to the point of, other than the woman must have used, if she used her fruit against it, but it's like Kube.
Yeah.
There's
It's
an
like her
evolution in
will
a few
is-
months.
Yeah, her will is causing her to grow faster than what she normally would.
Yeah. That's basically very close to how Sabo and Ace looked when they were kids. And in Wano, she looks very similar to Luffy's size. And they were like around 10. So it's looked like it, like in what? And it's interesting.
Go ahead, Bill.
While we're speaking on that, nobody's called to mention the fact that Shinobu is back to her original state.
Yeah.
True that's actually what I was about to bring up. Not about Kenobi, but like it could be too that as sad as this is, that Tama looks a little bit more healthy because she can actually eat now.
Yeah.
So it could be Oda showing that like she's eating well and being healthy and stuff like that. I don't know.
And
I
I'm
was
also
tickled to death to see her though.
And you know what's very interesting? The fact that Shinobu and Yamato are here, which makes me think of. We know that at one point Momo was definitely going to get trained by Yamato, understanding her father, Yamato's father, Kaido's Dell fruit, plus the whole what's it called, the whole we're seeing Momo has to get stronger. It kind of makes me think of we're in the story where a bit like Luffy. Train a bit with Rayleigh. Now he's left on his own to train by himself. He doesn't need to have a guardian to watch over him when he trains. The fact that Yamato is such at peace in Shinobu as well makes you feel like, or maybe like the Scarabs have taken over his training, or just, they're fighting against him so he gets stronger.
Yeah.
Just like Odin did.
I want to see, a Momo that is up to par with what his father was during his lifetime.
Yeah.
And
also Thomas is also this is what I'm interesting. Do you think that she was giving a Kurozumi blade? Remember, she's
I was just about to ask that because
that blade looks very.
Yeah, it looks very, very similar.
And also the fact that the Kozuki and the Kurozumi were one of those imported lineage, and the way that he said it, the Shimosuke is another one, and he did say that the ones of the Kozuki have to go back to Kozuki. The one Shimosuke have to go to Shimotsuki. So I'm wondering now if it could be Denjiro, being so close to Orochi. What if he gave they gave her a sword that belongs to her family?
Well, look, Sukiyaki, who is a Kazuki, took care of her the entire time. Like
exactly.
So it would make sense that she would probably get one of the blades that he had, right? Because he had Inma. But he also had, and plus he's a swordsmith. Like, he's not just a shogun, he's a swordsmith.
Yeah.
So, I think...
And there's also the tunnel of all the blades as well, remember?
Exactly. So, like, I think her having one of the sacred blades or one of those high-class blades is very, very likely.
Yeah. And also makes me think of, she's also, for what we know, the last living member of the Kurozumi clan because of Orochi and Kanjuro being gone.
Yeah, I completely always forget that she is a Korizumi as well, by the way.
Yeah, so like literally it's a special lineage, like the Shimotsuki and the Kozuki.
Yeah.
So definitely it could be a... And I do like it's very interesting, the heart symbol underneath it, which I find very, very interesting.
That's what I thought too. That's what made me start thinking that like maybe old man Kazuki made her blade for her. Do you think she's training with her devil fruit as well?
Yep, definitely.
Oh, definitely.
Possible, yeah.
What is her? I always want to call it the Dongo, but I know that's not right.
It's the Shibi, no? Kibi or
No.
something like that?
Millet. Kibi no mi millet.
I like it, Kibi, yeah, Kibi, okay.
Yeah, we were close.
Yeah, I never, it's a very tough, it's a very specific fruit as well.
Dolphin.
But you know what else that's quite interesting?
Mhm.
Is the added, that was very, the added, I think, Kozuki inspiration in her outfit. The flowers.
Yeah, the flowers. But did you notice they look like, I'm looking at the chapter now. The reason my Discord crashed earlier at the beginning of the stream, by the way, was because I tried to share the chapter to you guys. But the flower pattern, it looks very, what's the word? It looks like snowflakes as well. Which I don't know why. With Yamato being there and Yamato's power base being very ice powers, I feel like there's more to that. Like maybe Tama will join Yamato on this golden pilgrimage, which would be wild.
I mean, if you think about it, Oden did not leave by himself. Oden left with one of his retainer. If Yamato has one half, with Momo having the other half of Oden's will, it would make sense that there'll be one retainer. And so, what if it's Yamato and Otama that leaves together?
Yeah. How you dare you
Also,
say one of his retainer and not give Izo the respect he deserves?
What do you mean? Izo, yeah, I mean, no, but I wanted to make the example because, some people, if I say Izo, sometimes we'll think of that first Izo as a Whitebeard commander. But Izo started as a retainer of Oden. But yeah, it's quite interesting. Also, this is I never realized that lion, the lion, right?
Yeah.
I never realized how he does really have the opposite of the Oni teeth. Never realized it. It's upside down for the Oni, the fangs.
The line from the last few chapters, the cat?
No.
No,
The cover story. The Wano one. I keep forgetting the name of that creature. Otama's pet. Kumashio. Thank you.
Yeah.
Does have the reversal of what the Onis have in their teeth pattern.
I always thought
I never
him and
realized
Orochi's teeth looked very similar. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's when he turns into a dragon, to a Hydra.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
let's move past the cover page now. We spent a good 15 minutes on it, and talk about the chapter. So it's okay. I think we're back now. Yeah. Are we? Okay, let's go, guys. So sorry I had to restart OBS. What were you saying now, Cube, that we're back? The topic was the giants that are in the world.
What's a giant detection?
Yeah.
Or it could just be a massive detention
Yeah, as
center.
well. Like I said, but I read it like that at first. But when Nak brought it up to me yesterday, shout out to Nak Reacts, who's in the chat right now. It was the other possibility as well. So
yeah, that it was a giant's detention center. See, I read it as like giants. Like we're on Elbaf, there are giants, but those are definitely not giants. Like, like we keep saying, they are much smaller, probably about buccaneer size, like Dill had said earlier. And it makes me wonder if they were shrunk down now. It makes me think that maybe, because you, Kube, you've been talking about old boy Rhodes having a devil fruit. And it makes me think, what if his devil fruit, that is like part of it, is he can shrink them down?
It's the play know me instead of the hobby know me.
Listen, the hobby know me scares me.
Yeah. Rhodes just got a better version of it.
Ooh, where he turns people into action figures instead of like dolls. Is that Joshua Victor?
No, dude, it's not Joshua Victor. That's Rhodes. What's up, Rhodes?
Bro,
congratulations, man. You made an appearance in the chapter. Rhodes looks very similar to you, that's why. The way he was drawn, that's why.
No.
Yeah.
For reference, that was not Josh saying no, that was the soundboard.
But I'm going to send in chat a... Josh, you have not missed much. We just now started talking about the chapter. We finished talking about the cover story. Right now we're talking about if the detainees, like what's going on with them, right? Because they're definitely not giants. From the image I'm sending in the chat right now, YouTube chat, sorry that you guys can't see this, but reasons to join the Discord, right? I'll put it in OP chat as well. Actually, no, I won't, because Sunday officials haven't come out. I'll put it in the spoiler channel as well, the panel I'm talking about. But you can see that even if they were giants, that perspective shows that the people inside the detainment camp they're definitely way smaller than giants. Also, that one has a Ben 10 symbol on his shield.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me with this, I brought it up to you, Lucas, a few weeks ago, say that because I don't believe that Saturn was right about, I think it was figure of speech when he said to Bonnie, the last Buccaneer, referring to either Bonnie or Kuma. I think it was just referring last Buccaneer that spread the Nika lore. I said, if there's a place where Buccaneers will be safe, and like, what if those were actually Buccaneers? And what bothers me is that the one thing we know is the Buccaneers, with the ones we've seen, is their broad shoulders. And for some reason, at least the male ones that we can refer to, all seems to be hiding their shoulders with something over on top of it, So that's why I'm wondering if maybe they're Buccaneers, you know what I mean? Would explain why they're not as tall as giants, but they're definitely taller than Luffy and the others.
I mean, it's not really that tall from Luffy and the others. Like, we see humans that are that tall. Like, I think it's just that simple as that, they're humans.
See, that's where I'm kind of leaning towards as well.
Yeah, for me, they're humans, but
maybe it's the humans that actually make it to Elbaf that aren't tied to any giants at all. Like, pirates who are like, oh, let's go plunder Elbaf. Or maybe it's people who tried to steal wood from Yggdrasil in the Atomwood Treaty, because I do believe those are one and the same. There's a lot of possibility here. So how exactly Rhodes got all these humans? Plus, he's been a pirate for a long time, and as we saw, he was harvesting that knockout mist that he was talking about. So, like, maybe he's just going around kidnapping people.
Yeah. It could also be that the reason why, because I've always said that, is like I said, the human aspect, it could be just they're specific taller humans, Not the regular humans like Khalifa or Nami as women, because even if you look 2-3 chapters ago when they were seeing that huge bee that was massive for the Straw Hats, but not as massive for them, the female was almost as tall as one of the males that she was around next to them.
Dill sent a panel from 1128 in the chat of him riding the grasshopper. Dude is definitely taller than the Straw Hats. Like, if he was standing up off of the grapshopper, they'd probably go to his waist. Yeah.
I think he's around Doflamingo's height.
Around Dofi's height, yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Dill?
I said not even his waist.
Yeah, like just below it.
Yeah. And I do find it very interesting is that we literally had the start of the whole Yonko lore where Elbaf, with the stuff of giants, was introduced in Punk Hazard, and it was specifically trying to turn humans into giants. That's also I find very interesting. But yeah, until prove it otherwise, for me they're humans. But it is suspicious.
It is very, very, very suspicious. So I need to know
Yeah,
more
but like I said,
about.
but I'm definitely. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I said I'm definitely, especially with the last chapter, the way that he, just before you open the door, he places his hands like Laura Bartor does when you use your Paramisa Delphoid ability, and the fact that how the net, it could, like Lucas told me the other day, it could also yesterday, it could be just some sort of weaponry, but and then the net disappears from his staff, and his staff is normal. Kind of makes me sense that the reason why Rhodes could have done all of that is because he has a Delphoid himself.
Yeah, I could see it. Like I said, I think it's kind of cool with the sun iconography, and then when he uses that net, it looks a lot like Kabuto.
Yeah.
And we've all been talking about how important this arc is going to be for both Usopp and Nami. And it makes me think that like maybe the sun staff in it itself is kind of like a nod to how important this is going to be for them. Because as we saw this chapter, guys, not only did Usopp step up and shoot at the sun god, Nami also went after the sun god. So 2 for 3 of the weakling trio have already attacked this man.
Yeah. And just like to say, because I was very happy to hear that. Remember when I said at the beginning of this whole stuff happening a couple of weeks ago, I said, what if this is like someone's little garden? Just remind like that statement really. I won't lie, I was very happy yesterday when I read the chapter.
Yeah, when I read that in my reaction that'll drop on Sunday, I was talking about that for a while, about how you had just said, and I think in the officials it's going to say Little Garden, which it's in that panel actually, the one that I posted, where you could see the perspective of how big the sun god is. He says, you know, this world is marvelous. A grand tale is unfolding in my miniature garden, but let's be real, it's probably Little Garden.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's like it's cool. I won't lie, it's quite interesting. And now, this is the thing that's quite interesting and a thought, and we're gonna go into the whole the very spicy part, the whole what's up with Luffy. I'm wondering if Luffy is learning a new way to use his fruit. Like there's something that happened in Wano. Like I don't know, like you know how mythical Zoans have 2 features usually. Like Marco is both Zoan and Logia. I'm wondering if because of the Zoan aspect of him really accessing that, especially since Gear 5, that he's found a way to channel that energy while being in base. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like you said, something did happen in one where he awakened his fruit.
Yeah, exactly. When he awakens his fruit, like I'm wondering if because he's a mythical Zoan, he's now touching that other part of his fruit, which is more Zoan than Paramecia.
Well, it would make sense he has a hybrid form as well. We've only seen him go from base form to full Gear 5th, which we can assume is the full zone transformation. So for him to have a hybrid form makes 100% sense. And I want to see a definitive hybrid form from Luffy, if I'm being honest.
I don't think we will see, though, because he's already human and it's a human model, so it's like being...
Go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
I think it's like being like semi-human, semi-what. Like, I don't think your hybrid form exists for...
I mean, I would see a hybrid form, more like it wouldn't change his shape, but it would change like his hairstyle, his appearance, you know. A mixture of like normal Luffy with Gear 5, a mixture of both, you know.
Well, that's like maybe Snake Man, basically.
So no. But I mean, like, there's no, maybe not like a full transformation, you know, because Snake Man, he's changing, he's becoming taller, slimmer, more like it's more the visual. The hairstyle is very similar. He will have a hairstyle just like Nika, similar what we saw in Egghead when he was hungry.
Yeah,
he was transforming to Gear 5, but he was staying very similar to how he was.
Yeah,
like it's, you know, I mean more like that. The Snake Man is still an upgrade to his physical body.
Do we think that while the Straw Hats are escaping, guys, that they'll let that all those other people that were imprisoned as well will escape?
Oh,
I
definitely.
mean, they said in the chapters, though, those people that now it's our chance. Let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, all the pets are gone. Like no one can stop them.
Yeah. And I do feel like the cat was also a prisoner in there. The way that he was shocked that the cat did not listen to him and the cat was helping them out makes you think that, it was another prisoner,
And I think
Also-
he's just a pet.
Yeah, I think it's a
Yeah, I
pet.
think all of the animals are his pets that he was trying to rein in and help him do his bidding inside of the areas.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and then because if he's keeping all these people prisoners, then he lets his pets run loose in there. And as we saw, the Goat Bunny, as it was called in the chapter, the ear god,
Here.
Carrot, more attractive
Oh
than
my god,
Carrot.
it's Carrot.
But it's carnivorous. So like if he eats some of those prisoners, who cares because they're prisoners, right? It's a free playground for his pets, really. But at the same time, I feel like that rabbit, that carnivorous rabbit, that's not a pet that you just keep. So keeping it enclosed in something like that, definitely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that said, gold, the word gold, it's a Norwegian word that is for the color of gold. So I'm wondering if once we see some like colored visuals for this chapter, if it's going to be a gold bunny.
Yeah. And also kind of makes you think those pets is a bit the reversal of the opposite of the forced gel of Impel Down.
Really?
They do it. It's basically they're swayed in a way, like they can't say no. And now you have the same thing with those creatures keeping people in, but they have like they have more free will. Like the cat was attacking because that's his job, but now that there's a possibility of escaping, what does he do? He actually seems not to listen to Rhodes anymore. The Gels of Impel Down couldn't say no to an order of Hannibal or what's his name, or Magellan.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes you think, the one thing different with them is that they do seem to have a free will. They choose to do it,
Mhm.
But
The cat's
I
name
would
is weird
Yes,
to me,
yes.
though.
dude, it's
Skit.
yeah, I can't wait. It's a very funny name.
It's just weird. It makes me
I'm not
think
gonna
that.
lie.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I've been reading it as is cat.
Yeah, it's cat. What is that? It is cat. I keep reading it as Iskat, which is the Iskat Akaris, one of the 13 sisters from, they are the 13th sister from Star Wars Extended Universe.
Yeah, it also makes you think of if Rhodes isn't the one who named that cat, whoever the one who named it speaks very caveman-like.
Yeah, he's cat
as well. Yeah, you know what I mean? It also makes you think like the guy isn't that well versed in the English language,
I mean, possible. Same with the Tano thing. Like, I need to know more about why he's saying Tano after people's names and stuff. It's very reminiscent of what's the word I'm looking for here?
Tano is like respecting someone, like
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, me neither before the chapter.
Yeah, I thought it was just like, being like a Usaland or O'Robin.
Zojoro.
Yeah, Zojoro, things like that. What was the thing that the minx said? Garchu. Like, they like just adding little things like that. The One
It's
Piece.
like
good.
Someone you respect and look up to, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
the wiki's calling this arc the Land of the Gods arc, and I'm like, you guys are just trying to jump the gun because you don't know what the arc is called yet.
Yeah. You know what I think? What it could be referred to? Because it's interesting, because we saw also some pattern with Strong World. And in Strong World, they had a fruit that was introduced, the mini fruit.
Shout out Dindin in the chat.
What's up, Dindin? And it made basically it turned a giant into a human. So I'm wondering if the way that Rhodes is saying, this is the beauty of my living dolls, a minimalist world. I'm wondering if the minimalist is the thing in common, you know?
Mhm.
Like the main thing of his fruit, maybe.
You are really
It's
on him having a devil fruit, my man.
It's either
Yeah.
devil fruit or it's some new tech that we haven't seen yet, and that would be interesting to see regardless, you know.
I mean, we're all talking about Usopp getting an upgrade this arc. New tech is like one way definitively to get Usopp upgraded.
Yeah. It does, you know, the net then disappearing. But you know.
Yeah, for me, anything doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't scream like he has their foot. Nothing tells me he has one.
Well, I'm on the fence if I'm being honest. It could go either way for me. The hand motion from last chapter really is weird. Like that is such a weird way to try and open a door.
He basically did something similar to Barto and what Law does before they get to they prepare for an attack with their hands, like a Paramisa does. And he does it just before he opens the door. He puts his hand, and then suddenly when he comes out, all chaos runs loose.
Yeah.
Now, San Lucas, that's kind of weird to open a door that way. It makes me think of a Delphoid user.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like it's quite interesting. What's also interesting is what he says about Haruden. That's quite interesting.
That's exactly where I was about to go with it next, actually. Do you guys think that the only reason he left Hydruden was because of the Straw Hats? Because I don't remember seeing anything like that in Dressrosa when Hydruden joined. I don't remember seeing him leave or anything like that.
Yeah, did he leave Perugin?
No. He left later on whenever the new giant went to go to Buggy to let him know, hey, we're separating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hyrujin might just be on the island.
Yeah, I mean, he could be, yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Ghost Train in the spoiler section did draw up a good point. He said, what if if some of them are giants who turn into humans, he's with the both trains. He did say, what if one of them is actually Haruden? We haven't seen him yet.
That would be wild.
Yeah, because he was referring to that statement. Why would you may recognize you, but I don't see you know, which is interesting. But then again, you know.
Have we seen Hydruden since Dressrosa?
Nope.
Besides in the flashback we got on Egghead, where his crew was helping pull up the books from Ohara, which that doesn't confirm he was there, but I mean that kind of confirms he was there. In my opinion,
we know where he was.
Got him in the self-proclaimed Grand Fleet cover stories, but that's about it.
Yeah. You know what it makes me think of, and it's crazy, but if you analyze Rhodes and Harden, it really makes you think of the dynamic of Shanks and Buggy. Even the fallout right now. Very similar to Buggy getting upset with Shanks to giving up on his dreams.
I see what you're saying, yeah. I wouldn't have seen that parallel, but I do get what you're saying.
Interaction wise, I don't think characters. I think just between both of them, it's very very similar to the dynamic duo of Buggy and Shanks when it comes to Luffy.
What do you think is up with the Sleeping Mist build, guys? Like I said earlier, I need to know more about that.
Dude, so I'm gonna repeat what I told you, and I want to hear Josh and Dill's idea on it, especially since you know it's called the Sleeping Mist belt. And we know that there's a place. Yeah, there's a place in the world where basically there's such a lack of wind in the calm belt that it's so calm that they call it the calm belt. And since Egghead is not too far, I'm wondering if maybe it could be a manufactured cloud, but there's a natural cloud around that area that creates a mist. You know? Could be man-made, obviously, because of Egghead.
Well, if it's around
Okay.
Elbaf, that's what it makes me think that maybe the Giants are doing it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Josh, Dill, thoughts?
Yeah, it might just be the Grand Line weather. That's it.
That's also my thoughts as well, Josh.
That it's just something natural forming around Elbaf from the Grand Line.
Yeah.
The thing is with this is that this was about the doubt by Knack. So I do want to give him the credit. The way that during Broggy did not even think of that possibility. They were so shocked. They were in the days. Oh wow! They can understand why they slept so long. It's been 2 days.
Yeah.
You know. So
It
it kind of
makes
makes
me
you think of
wonder-
whatever it is. Either they're unaware of it, or it became a thing while they were gone. Remember, they
Yeah.
recently came back a few months ago, so they never really had the experience to deal with it during Broggy.
I definitely think it's the second one, especially because the connection that Road made as soon as he was like, yeah, they came from Egghead. They must have sailed through that. It seems like it's only on one portion of Elbaf's sides.
Yeah.
Well,
And Kidden doesn't seem to have gone through it as well. And
yeah.
he came from Wano.
Yeah.
So it could be just
Yeah.
from one side. But what I was going to say is that because the Giants have been untouched by the rest of the world, from what we know of, really, maybe it was something that Emu did to keep other people from getting to Elbaf. Because I personally, a little bit of headcanon here, I personally believe that we're going to get the Void Century flashback. Whatever we need to learn about the Void Century, we're going to learn a lot of it in Elbaf. Maybe not all of it, because we got to save some stuff for Laugh-Tale, of course. But I think we're going to, because think about it, Saul's going to be there, Robin's going to be there. This is the perfect time for it. But maybe because the Giants haven't had their history altered by the Void Century, at least from what we know of so far, they may have. Maybe Emu has something to do with that as well. Because we think that the Grand Line is man-made, right? Who's to say that Emu hasn't caused this sleeping mist belt to be formed around Elbaf to keep people from going there?
I mean, not even around Elbaf, it's between Elbaf and
Egghead, yeah.
Yeah. And also another point that is weird, it does seem, even though it, the way that Road and was shocked by it, seems that there's something automatic by it. The one word statement that's weird about it is something must have happened. They're fast asleep.
Yeah.
Did they go through the sleeping mist belt? You know, it makes you know what I mean? It makes you think like it's not something that normally, you know what I mean? Like it feels like, so I could see Emo or someone's will active or someone activate. And again, just before the four satellites of Vegapunk merging together, the last one we saw them, they wanted to call Wizeria. And Vegapunk always planned to go to Elbaf. So I'm wondering if it's also people with Wizeria are behind activating something.
That'd be
That could
crazy.
explain why Lilith looked so guilty when they disappeared. He couldn't look anyone. She turned her back to everyone else. But yeah. But it's
Change the name
it's
of the
really
stream, by
interesting.
the way, boys. From Who Done It to Who the Heck is Rodo? Because official English name is Rodo. I could have sworn they said Road though in the show, like in the anime.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff, guys. Crazy stuff. This chapter was very action-packed, but a lot of dialogue at the same time. Also, how are we thinking? I got to hear everybody's impression. How do we think that Rodo, how his laugh is gonna sound? My first impression when I was reading it is
Yeah, I can see something like that. There was something that's really interesting. I want to know. Obviously, we know about Nami, the original being from Sweden. Most likely, it's going to connect back to some lore in Warland because of the whole Nordic inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
The way he's very familiar to call her my queen. It's my queen, Nam Tasso.
Yeah.
Makes you think, like there is something, he knows something about Nami.
Well, I mean, as a navigator, I think any pirate navigator who, like, even if he wouldn't follow the Straw Hats, like, I feel like any navigator would see Nami as a hero to other navigators. You know what I mean? So I wonder if it's something like that too. Like, but I do think it's weird that Oda specifically had her call her that.
And then the way
I think we're on Elbeth. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and the ways that she was placed in that room, it's not even the dressing. Like, she wasn't put in a jail cell, those kind of stuff. And we don't know what happened to the other people where they were found, but they were all fighting for their life when Nami saw them. Nami was just she went to the sound of Usopp.
Yeah.
But she was not being hunted down. It's only after she reacted that the creatures, like, she scared them, that they started attacking her. So it makes you think there's something, like, you know what I mean? Like, him calling a queen, it might be not something he does all the time.
Bushido in the chat asked if Nami was famous as a navigator. I think so. I think all of the Straw Hats are probably famous in their own regards. Like, there's a new One Piece film coming out, and I know it's not going to be canon, but called Fan Letters, and it's all about people who are inspired by the Straw Hats for not necessarily being pirates, but, like, their actions. Like, there's one where it's a little girl who lives in Water 7 and hears tell of the insane shipwright Frankie and wants to become a shipwright just like him. So, like, it wouldn't be very surprising for me if Nami hasn't inspired some of the next generation to become navigators.
Yeah, my thing is that it's like with Kube and X Drake. It's all about people talking about them. So we just need someone from the Straw Hats past who seen Nami's gift.
Yeah.
And stated that. I don't think the newspaper would talk about her unique ability, because I'm saying this. If the world government knew ahead of time the stuff Nami can do, either they would have wiped her out or they would have already imprisoned her.
Oh yeah, I could agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, there's definitely something. I do agree. It could also be something about, it could be, what if some people, the way he describes some of her ability, roots from being in Warland, he has heard people with that legend. Like, maybe back then there was a tribe of human that disappeared like 40 years ago, no knowing what happened to them. And some of them were like Asa from Skypiea, who had that specific ability, and they took it similar to even Shiroshi, that it factor. And maybe he's aware of it. That could explain it as well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Dude, someone has to, because it's so weird that we've never met one person who's able to correlate what Nami can do as some lore stuff. Like, it looks like she's the only one of her kind. You know what I mean? She's so unique. And also, big ups for Nami for that attack, that Thunderbolt. Oh, man.
Oh, I know. It was sick, dude. The paneling there is just insane as well. Oda really knocked it out of the park with that. Do you think that Rhodes specifically chose the sun god? Like, what reasoning do you think he would choose to? Is it just because of how well known the sun god is on Elbaf, or?
Yeah, probably.
Or it could also be this thing of, people wanted to become Joy Boy like Kaido, but then decides to realize it's not him, so he wants to be defeated by Kaido. It could be a thing that a lot of people were hoping at one point, but realized they're not going to be Sun God, and he's the only delusional person. A bit like Kid. Still thinks that he's with next to Luffy, that he has more chance of Luffy to become Pirate King.
But
even after Wano.
Is Joy Boy synonymous with the Sun God to the rest of the world, or is it just the audience who sees it like that?
We don't know because of King. King never used the term Sun God or Nika, only Joy Boy. But the Giants called him Sun God Nika. But who is the one who connected Sun God Nika to the Warrior of Liberation? You know what I mean? Like, there's 3 or 4 different names. So it's very crazy. It's very hard.
Yeah, the Warrior in White as well is another one.
Yeah, from Veggie. No, just Vegapunk. Sorry, I don't like calling Veggie.
And Jinbei was the one that said that.
Yeah, he said he looks just like the Warrior of Liberation, which makes sense why, if he's heard Legend of Warrior of Liberation, it explains why Neptune said they don't know who Joy Boy is. Maybe they never heard that term for that person, or someone's like the next. Let's say there was a cycle like the Avatar, and the next person could have been like every cycle. There were 4 or 5 of candidates who were great Joy Boys, but each had a different nickname. It's a different generation. That's from Smokey. Smokey did brought up thing like, what if some of the names talk about different Nikas from different generations, and just because of the era, the nicknames were different.
I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
Bushido in the chat said Nami is Emu's daughter, and then Nak said, "Go back to bed, Bushido."
Oh my god.
I've seen that take around. I'm not a big subscriber to it, but like, I don't know how. Like, I don't know. Like, when did Emu leave the castle to go, do some back shots or something?
Yeah.
I could have described that in a better way, but I didn't.
Yeah, honestly, for this, my whole thing when it comes to emo is we need to get a bit more than emos and just glimpse of moments of emo. Because I've always said that there could be a big twist. Like, imagine if emo might not be the great villain that we think. It's a bit like sometimes we get that like there's always someone behind the man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You know,
and
emo is just someone acting like Orochi.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But I think that Emu is the man behind the curtain, because for a long time there, of course, this wasn't the case for me. Well, it kind of was, but I caught up in a very short amount of time, so I got the Emu reveal, where some people were waiting for years for that. But the Gorosei seemed to be the big bad, right? And I think Emu is the man behind the curtain for them. So if there's another man behind the curtain, that would be crazy. Like, that would be insane. Oda just being like, you thought Emu was it? Nah, there's another one. Boom.
Yeah, again. Yeah, like I said, with the way Emu's been written, Oda needs one arc where he goes in depth with Emu, and it could be the twist of, the way we were introduced to Ms. All Sunday. Yeah. Other than me, who got spoiled because back then I hadn't caught up completely. And so I was also watching the anime to catch up. And then, like I told you, the intro basically in Alabasta had Robin being on the Mary with them. So it really spoiled me that she was a member. But if you read back then, Robin joining was such a twist.
Yeah.
There was almost no indication of it. It's just the last result. Like I said, with Emu, there's so few stuff. Like now, some of the Gorosei, like Garling has more facts about him with the stuff he said, the way he acted, that you can't see Garling as saying, I'm waiting for the sun god to deliver me, to free me from the shackles of the Gorosei. Hell no. You know what I mean? No. With Emu, there's still that possibility. No, but again, all we need is just a storyline where Emu is a bit more in the center and actually hearing actual Emu's thoughts and stuff like that.
Well, that brings up a bigger question too, and I know this is a little bit off topic from the chapter, but do you guys think we're going to get Marie Joie arc where the Straw Hats go there and wage war?
Yeah, definitely. I'm convinced that this whole thing is Nika's biggest mistake is he couldn't free Marie Joie. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why he keeps coming from the sky. A lot of times he's come from the sky. He has this obsession with it. And I'm wondering if it's a bit like Mario. He has to deliver all the castle until he goes to the right castle. Like, it's instinct for him. That's why even though Luffy doesn't seem to be a word of liberation, he naturally does it. And it's very weird the amount of time he comes as a hero coming from the sky.
Yeah.
And Marie Joie is so high in the sky. It kind of makes me think, that's where his sixth sense is trying to tell him. So he's just going to the wrong places, and he's arriving to the place he's supposed to. So I wouldn't be shocked that there's this storyline in Marie Joie. Like, it's the first country that fell, and it's the last one he has to deliver.
Excuse me, sorry.
But yeah, it's like it's quite I won't lie, it's quite interesting, and also big up for Nami and her Thunderbolt. Really, honestly, it's like I said, it's good to see it, because I've always said that the Coward Trio is a nickname I don't like for them, because I think it's inaccurate. It's just they have too much doubt, but they have the strength to fight strong people. They just get scared before the fight starts.
Have you guys seen the I Will Return thing yet?
Yeah, I saw it. That was a funny cover story.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Dill, Josh, if you haven't, I'm going to drop it in chat. But it's from chapter 898. It's from that Decks of the World, the Straw Hat Grand Fleet cover story, and it's Roto, and the chapter's called "I Will Return."
Yeah, he did return.
Yeah, that's for sure.
The fact that there's a giant tree behind him too just makes me happy. Like,
yeah, I won't lie. The way Nami really hit him, we have to see next chapter. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be a very a long-term antagonist. Kind of feel like it's one of those moments where the person will see the light, a bit like Buggy in a way.
yeah,
He'll find a common ground, but he'll still be spiteful about them. Because if the way he got hit by Nami, we have to see he might get up like it's nothing. But that he took it makes you think that he's definitely not on Sanji or Zoro's level. And forget even Jinbei or even Luffy.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna keel over, like not die, but I think he's gonna pass out from it. Like you said, I think this is a tertiary villain. I still think that I don't even think Loki is going to be the main villain of Elbaf, which I know that a lot of people do. I think that there's going to be a different big bad to Elbaf completely. I think, if I'm being honest, most signs point to someone like Shiki.
Actually, most signs point to the world government.
Or
I was gonna say
going back to the whole being
Yeah. The fact that Big Mom, Mother Caramel, who now Big Mom has lost her personality trait, was referring to Loki a long time ago, and then Big Mom suddenly is doing deals with Loki. It could be that Loki's partners might be world government, and it could be some sort of high-ranking member of the world government.
I would love that.
Like
actually.
the God's Knight.
Yeah, like the God's Knights coming in or something. Like that would be insane. That would actually be a really interesting way to start this whole final war as well. Because whatever happens in Elbaf, I keep saying this, whatever happens in Elbaf, that is going to be the setup for the next Marine Ford, the big war that Oda keeps talking about. I can't believe 57% of our viewers have said mid to this chapter. This chapter was amazing. Y'all need to stop reading spoilers.
It's not even spoilers, because people, like, when we go with the spoilers, unless if you read the full one, the brief one, there was still a lot of surprises with what we got from the brief.
Yeah.
There was still a lot of surprises. So I think it's just people are expecting, like I said, a lot of people got spoiled by the I would even say, since Dressrosa, Whole Cake, Wano, Egghead, people have been waiting for, like, Oda is always going to do a 10 out of 10 next chapter. But they're not willing to accept that we need a 7 or 8 out of 10 because it helps us enjoy when there's a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, see, I thought this was a 10. That's actually a good question for all of us. What do you guys rank this chapter? Josh? Dill?
Like an 8.
Like an 8.
Yeah, me too, 8.
Dill? Dill has fallen asleep. No.
Yeah. So I will just say, for me, so basically, any good chapter in One Piece is an 8 for me. They rate an 8. What makes me push it to a 9 or a 10? 9 is when it's like there's this crazy twist. So Stussy being working for Vegapunk and being the clone of a former Rocks member, Buckingham Stussy. And then a 10 out of 10 is you've got the emotional thing, like the Kuma's chapter flashbacks. That's what really pushes me. Because then I'll say, well, see, because then it's tough. You know what I mean? If we put this at 10 out of 10, what do you put Kuma's chapter, flashback chapter at? 15 out of 10?
Yeah, Dill went into the sleep mist is crazy, Will.
Yeah, for real.
No, see, I thought this was a 10 out of 10. But what I will say, though, is for avid One Piece fans, right? Like all of us, most of our audience, and stuff like that. That's a huge twist. Roto being the sun god was a huge twist. But that's because all of us know all of the extended one-time shown characters so well that a twist like that could work. But for a common person who, like, a common One Piece fan, like someone who, yeah, they read the chapters every week and stuff like that, but they're not involved in the community or the theory aspect of things and stuff like that. I could see where that twist would fall flat. That's It's Twitter, man. Twitter with that whole like agenda of like, oh, this chapter's mid, or L takes and blah 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 blah. That I think is where a lot of that stuff comes from. Knack 0 out of 10. vexyz. Hold on, Vex is in chat. I've gotta hit it. I gotta hit it again, guys, because he hasn't heard it yet.
Go, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy vexyz, the lurking legend.
A 7. I mean, 7's okay for me.
Yeah, 7's a good. It didn't feel like a setup chapter. That's for sure.
0 out of 10. I'm Twitter. By the way, Josh, I'll give you some fun fact that Dill already knows about because he witnessed it. Lucas doesn't read spoiler anymore, so I told him. So basically, Q, who gives a brief spoiler, who's actually quite balanced. He doesn't do the agenda stuff. He's very accurate. People were claiming, the leakers, that it was a mid chapter, not that good, etc. And Pew, when he gave his brief spoiler, he said, before making comments of how bad it is as a chapter, first read the chapter in its entirely before giving false claims. It was so funny. Like in bolted in the thing. Fun fact. I don't read spoilers. I'm not on Twitter, just my own. No, but I do understand Vex. Honestly, I do understand the 7. Like I said, I put 8. I can understand 7 as well, because it is missing those crazy stuff that we had in Egghead at some point. You know, the twist, Kizaru and Saturn being together, Sentomaru changing sides. You know, we got too used to that, so I can understand as well.
Did Vex just actually the sound clip that I got of him?
I don't know if you heard it.
No, I did. No, yeah, I agree. I don't think when it comes to, like, not to get too off topic from the chapter, but, like, when it comes to, like, the spoiler and leak community, I don't think that the spoiler people realize how much their summaries affect people's opinions of the chapter. Like I said, the chapter that got me to quit reading spoilers was when Bonnie turned into Nika. When Bonnie turned into Nika, the way that they wrote... Excuse me, I'm so sorry. But the way that they wrote the short summary and the long summary made it sound like she just pulled it out of nowhere and was like, I'm Nika now, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
then I read the chapter.
Read the false one.
Yeah, and then when I read the chapter, it's one of the best chapters of One Piece, like, ever. Like, it's one of the best chapters in all of Egghead.
Yeah, like I told you, my whole thing is I only read the 5 lines of the brief spoilers, unless someone tells me to get the other stuff because it's too spicy, and we're gonna make content out of it. But I do understand, because I've said this: if you keep every week reading the raws and the full spoilers, I do understand why people quit spoilers, because that's just too much. And people in the full spoilers specifically, you're guided sometimes.
Yeah,
the way they write the sentences.
Also,
I do understand.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, like which chapter it was, but whoever wrote the like long form summary of it, there was like a small moment between Zoro and I think it was when he was up against either Lucci or Kizaru, like briefly. And the way they wrote it was like this big epic moment between Zoro and he's fighting and he like totally glazing Zoro. And then you read the chapter and it's like a tiny panel.
It's because most of the guys who translate are big Zoro fans and Sanji haters. Remember what they said about his fight against Sanji and S-Shark? S-Shark, Sanji tried to kick S-Shark, like with the Flamingo, he got hit back, and his leg broke and he was crying. He felt the pain.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was Zoro versus Nesujura. I think it was too. Where it was like they clashed briefly, but the way the spoilers made it sound, it was like a full page thing, and it was like one small panel. All right. So before we move on to next chapter predictions and stuff like that, what else are we thinking from this chapter, guys? Josh, you came in a little bit later. Is there anything specifically you wanted to bring up about it?
Not really.
Don't worry, guys. I'm muting myself for stream when I'm doing that, so I'm sorry.
I know, man. I just don't want you to, I thought you said Emu's name too many times and you were being taken out.
I was.
It sounded like Cobra.
For you guys that know, I'm coughing terribly when I'm muting myself for stream, and it's Emu is implementing white lead disease into me.
I won't lie. Classic element.
Yeah, you know what's up.
I won't lie. You know what? I'm very curious. Obviously, I'm still waiting to see if Rhodes does indeed have a Delphoid ability, or if it's like some sort of new weapon based off dials or those kind of stuff. Which I would be a small glad. It's just I told you the hand thing is weird. What I'm also quite not prediction, but I'm very curious about is as we go deeper with the animals, because that bird is huge to be able to carry the Sunny.
Yeah,
Either the Sunny was made smaller with inside the mist, which I don't think is the case because Rhodes is the same size as when he took them in right now. So it's definitely the bird is massive.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Do you guys think that was the bird that was in the egg on Roger's ship?
No, but I think it could connect back. We finally found an animal that would be the size of an egg like that. So we are in the right area.
Yeah,
which I've always said it must be somewhere near Warland where they got that egg. Especially since at that time a lot of those side Roger pirates all have those Viking helmets. They already had it in God, and they already had it in God Valley. In God Valley, they had 2 of them, and in the Odin flashback, there were at least 4 of them with those helmets. And I've said this. What if before Shanks, you know how Blackbeard took all his territories from a Whitebeard, and that's how he got a Yonko so fast, and they stated how Shanks became a Yonko at such a young age. What if some of the islands Shanks took them back in because they said, oh, that he used to be, oh, that's Shanks, he used to be with Roger. They have such a big respect. Instead of not Roger used to protect them, now they accept Shanks, would also make sense. Blackbeard and Shanks being so similar. And maybe Elbaf could have been the territory of Roger back in the day. Which his divine departure does look like Haikyoku's sovereignty. A weaker version of it. So he could have learned in Elbaf.
It as big as Mars transformed. I mean, bigger. I don't think Mars could have picked up the Sunny. Do you guys?
I think it was similar size. Remember, he was completely he was much bigger than their shields. Remember with the giants?
Yeah,
it wasn't as tall as giants. So I would say it's at least it's as close. It's closer than the other birds we've seen in the story. But then again, dude, it's like with those huge animals, we're never sure, But that'll be interesting.
Well, yeah, I know, dude. It's bad today. Well, I've always speculated that whatever the egg was on Roger's ship, it's probably based off the. I think possibly Uranus. I know that's a big popular theory, but it whatever it is, it makes me think it'll be inspired by the Native American rock bird, like the giant thunderbird and things like that. But yeah, I think the pets are definitely gonna. We saw Mars next to Lucci. He was big, but not that big. Oh, Dill is stirring, guys.
What's up, Dill? Still alive?
Dill.
No, the question is still conscious?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my turn.
Lucas, you had a question for him, that's fine. And that's because at one point Lucas was... Oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, sorry. That's a silence because Lucas was... Yeah, do you have any prediction or stuff for the next few chapters? That was
we see that the giant ship gets taken from like the entry point to Elbaf. The rest of the Straw Hats are definitely in another portion of Rhodes Castle area.
Oh, you think that they're also... Wait, you said we saw them getting taken as well?
We saw the ship getting taken.
Did we?
He talked about the Straw Hat ship. Mugen,
I thought you were talking about the giant pirate ship. I was like, we did? No, yeah, definitely. So you think that the other Straw Hats have landed on Elbaf successfully?
Hold on, I'm going back and looking because I thought it was a giant ship.
No, it's the Sunny.
No,
Yeah, it was just Sunny, yeah.
yeah.
But
I'm
see-
still shocked that Crow picked up the Sunny like a kid picks up his bucket with sand in it.
Yeah, crazy, dude.
It's going to be crazy. It's a massive ship.
See, I think that I think the same thing though, Dill. I think that the other Straw Hats are on Elbaf already. That they've landed with Dorian Broggy and the rest of the giant warrior pirates. I'm hoping we see them next chapter. I'm really hoping, because I know Oda's trying to like pick up the pace and stuff like that. I'm really, really hoping that he does an off-screen Robin's reunion with Saul. Like when we meet up with the rest of the Straw Hats, she's already there with him. That would break my heart.
Yeah, no, he won't do that. That would
I
be,
need
that
to
would
see
be.
it.
It's like seeing Usopp and Yasopp sing for the first time, or Luffy or Shanks, those kind of stuff. It's people who are part of their flashback, like experimental and them not losing hope. You know.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something for Nami, but all her friends are dead. Sorry, I had to.
Oh, my friends are dead. Nami be like,
I have a question. Remind me, was it in Dressrosa where they explained that the bulls got a bit bigger because of the green, the water being dumped, the what's it called, green blood being dumped or whatever they were using in the small factory, or is it just me misremembering?
I have not read Dressrosa enough times to remember correctly.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, what if there was something in that environment that breeds giant creatures? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, since they're giant people now.
Vex is in chat. With the bullfish in Dressrosa, Vex, were they affected by the chemicals used in Smile Fruits to become that massive? He'll answer when he answers. We'll get this figured out.
Yeah. That's why they were augmented.
See, I remembered something about it. I just couldn't remember exactly. Also, we will call Liam Neeson. Liam's Neeson?
So you know what? There's one type of bird I've always said that would be interesting, and I don't know why I've always said that. But I said, what if what if one of the birds could be based off a mixture of a rock and a vermilion bird? Yeah, the fighting fish. Yeah. Wait, Knack responded. The fighting fish mutated from the Sad Factory.
I just
That's
saw
what
that.
it was in
Sorry,
Green Blood. Yeah. Sorry, we didn't see it.
I know.
Yeah.
I think I
Yeah, it was
miscredited Will as the one who said it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's funny. Because we'll just answer behind it. Yeah, okay, it was in the Green Blood. It was a sad fact. Yeah, I'm wondering if those animals being in the Warland region, there is something in the food or like something in their environment that they eat as well, and the giants eat as well, that breads, you know. Like it's very sugary. Because remember, the whole thing with those giants kids was giving them sugar. Then Big Mom, massive, is obsessed with sugar. So it could be something, you know, some sugary style of food.
It could be. Very well so. In my mind, though, when it comes to the giant animals, it just makes me think, like, because it's a land of giants, it's pretty... it would make sense that animals also grow bigger on Elbaf. But that brings up the question, do you guys think that Elbaf is going to be outside of this place?
Okay, for me, I do like what you guys said about saying that this could be Elbaf, but I always said, I definitely am sure one thing, that this is the region of Warland. Like the fact that they refer Warland where the Adam Tree is, but then Elbaf is located in Warland. It could be like, okay, Wano, Curry, you know what I mean? Wano's the island, Curry is the region on the island. It could be that Elbaf is an island. Yeah, and the whole region, all the different regions, they just call it Warland, like Totaland, but there's a specific island nearby or area.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I've always thought. So I do believe they're in Warland. It's just the infrastructure is completely different than what we've seen with Shanks and Big Mom's flashback.
Yeah, but that's just because we were stuck inside of that room. I mean, we haven't seen, and when we got into Roto's room, you can definitely tell it's more akin to the Elbaf style of furnishings that we saw in Shanks's like little bits on Elbaf. Yo, shout out to the GOAT DM of Group 14, the W helmsman himself, Mr. Tori Mori.
Tori.
Yes, just real quick, I know we're in the middle of the stream, but I got a promo real quick. We, Group 14, will return on the Straw Hat Lucas YouTube channel on the 17th of October, starting 2 hours earlier than normal so that we can have an extra long session and give you guys a really good session to listen into. Hell yeah. It's going to be a good time. But yes, that is the GOAT right there. Win DM, win helmsman. Some may even say the best helmsman. I definitely would.
Look at that guy. Look at this manifestation we did. We were talking about big birds, and Tori Mori appears.
Exactly. It just makes sense. Goated goat captain. Goat Ted. Goat captain Leadbelly. I like that.
By the way, I had to put it because then you have to hear my response. But we were talking about what type of food if it's sugary. Will of Dreams had the best response. He said it's diabetes, which I changed to diabetes. But
diabetes. You keep the blood sugar inside of the dial.
Yeah, but yeah, and so Knack did it, explain it perfectly. Warland is a region, Elbaf is a country kingdom. Then you have cities and villages inside it.
Well, that also goes into the whole structure of the world tree as well. I said in one of my chapter reactions or it might have been the rambling addiction I did on Elbaf, that I thought the roots of the world tree would branch out and it'd be like an archipelago of islands, and then it'd be kind of like the Torino Kingdom and other spots where the islands are like stacking upward on top of each other. So I fully believe that it'll be broken up into sections like Wano Kuni was, or Whole Cake, or Totoland was. You know what I mean? Whole Cake Island itself was just one island inside of the massive Totoland.
Yeah. I can see that. But yeah, it's like I said, we just need to know more if that's exactly Elbaf. But it wouldn't shock me that we're like 9 realms. What if there's 9 islands? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Or even 9 districts, like we saw, like you said, the Curry district, or what are they called in Wano? Prefectures?
Yeah. This would explain why we never saw a huge tree every time we were in Elbaf. What if it's on a different island near Elbaf?
Yes.
The one thing they said is in Warland. They never said Elbaf.
Well, I think wherever the tree is, it'll be like the base of it will be on like the central, and I put that into quotation marks, the central island of Elbaf, like the Midgard of Elbaf. Josh, Dill, you think we in Elbaf?
Yeah.
Josh is gonna come in with a little.
No.
You think we're in Elbaf, or you think it's an island near Elbaf?
Yeah, it's Elbaf.
It's my boy.
Yeah, why would the crystal not be giant size? It's not Elbaf.
Yeah, see, I definitely think it's Elbaf as well. I think Oda did this on purpose, like the whole we're inside Roto's room thing, just to kind of, because everyone's expecting Elbaf right after Egghead, right? Like they were leaving Egghead talking about Elbaf, and I think he was doing the whole. It's almost like a red herring to going to Thriller Bark, where we're going to Fishman Island. Oh nope, we're in Thriller Bark. Oh, we're going to Elbaf. Oh nope, we're in this weird block country.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, I think with the location of it, the 2 good answers are either Warland region or directly Elbaf. It's one of the 2, because with that many, giant theme, it has to be in that region. Yeah. I was gonna say also before I'm gonna read what Will wrote, but before I was gonna say that most likely when we see the Adam tree, it'll be the Eve tree the roots were very deep underwater. The tree of knowledge was land level, so it could be that the Adam tree could see it from afar because it goes up to the sky. There's a sea, land, and air, just like for Kaido's fruit. So Will wrote something quite interesting. Kinemon Punk Hazard 3 body part theory. There's one tree that cut into 3 parts by Ope or Bari. The food user. Top is the tree of knowledge. Trunk is the Adam. Roots are the Eve tree.
I like that. Yeah, that is very, very, very interesting. Especially the top being the tree of knowledge. At first, I was like, I don't understand why you would think that. But then the tree of knowledge is the only one we've seen the top of. The Eve tree, we saw mostly its roots, and I like that actually. That's pretty cracked there, Will.
And I've always said it's quite interesting how if you take any map of One Piece and took the location of Ohara, Marijoa, and Elbaf, and everything, regardless of the shape you have a triangle between all of them.
Yeah.
They become a quite, and it from Ohara and Elbaf, the distance is quite similar to the Eve tree. Like the Eve tree is like, the woman in their life. So I wouldn't be shocked by that.
I want to know, that's one of the biggest mysteries that I kind of really want to see, like where it goes, is how exactly the Adam tree will connect to the Eve tree, because the Eve is the sunlight Eve tree, but all we know about the Adam tree is that it's called the Adam tree. We don't know if it's giving off sunlight, if it gives off massive shade, so it brings darkness in opposition to the Eve tree.
There is something that it's about the chapter that dropped yesterday. Tree the Wolf is in the chat. Whoa.
Yesterday's chapter, Mr. Tree the Wolf, Struggler of the Eternal Dawn.
What were you saying, Lucas, before because I was going to answer to you, but then I saw
that was about the Adam tree and how little we know about it.
The one thing we're sure with how Frankie said, and it kind of makes me think of, how the Eve tree seems to be very similar to how some people describe how Logia function, the alpha user Logia function. It kind of makes you very similar to what a Zoan could do. Like he talked about being very durable, and the warrior race that were fighting all of there decided to make their home to be protected. So it kind of makes me think of some sort of durable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or, it could also be like, what if how there's light from the Eve tree? What if food doesn't go bad? You know what I mean? Durable, those kind of stuff, Because he used the word durable.
That brings up the question of, like, do the devil fruits, did they originally grow on a tree? Was it the Eve tree? Was it the Adam tree? Because in one of the original Romance Dawn one-shots, that's what happened. They grew off the gum tree back when only the gum fruit was that was the only devil fruit. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of spice going around the Ironwood tree. I need to know more.
Yeah, don't worry, Tree. Don't worry, man. We do appreciate it. Tree hasn't read the chapter yet, so he's just gonna keep the video pulled up and yeah. And also, what makes you think of what you just said about the 3 trees? And I've said this. If at one point some islands were all together in one region, what if those 3 trees weren't just trees? They were part of the same garden. The devil fruits and those 3 trees used to be in one garden. Like you have the tree of knowledge, the Adam, Eve tree. What are we missing? Garden of Eden. What if there's something similar to the Garden of Eden in this world of One Piece?
Yeah. And with the tree of knowledge, that kind of goes with something that I literally just now realized, is that the tree of knowledge kind of refers to the serpent giving Eve the forbidden fruit, right? Because that forbidden fruit was carnal knowledge. And then tying that into that devil iconography in with Nico Robin's backstory, being the demon child, like, that's some Oda. The layers there, my man. But like I said, it just keeps me wondering what exactly the Adam tree's purpose is going to be. Obviously, Adam wood comes from it, which is it's considered the strongest type of material you could build anything out of. And I'd said this in one of my chapter reactions too, is that maybe Adamwood comes from Yggdrasil, and that's just what they call the Adamwood tree there. And maybe the sunlight tree Eve, and then we have the life tree Adam, and then we have the knowledge tree, which has been destroyed now.
Well, actually, you know what? This is my thing. I don't think they fully destroyed it. They just made it impossible for humans. It's quite interesting. The Eve tree, we don't know, but it does seem that the people in Marijoa are living right at the center of it, right? Then you have but if you look at the tree of knowledge, they didn't really destroy the roots. They just made it impossible to go back inside it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it crumbled, like a cave being caved in. You know, it kind of makes you. And then you think of what's his name? What Nolan was saying about spirits going back into trees. You know.
Yeah, and that in of itself is very telling. I used it in my Faustian deal theory, which is almost at 40k views, just to shout that out real quick. But I used it in the Faustian deal theory as evidence towards the souls and like being transported into devil fruits. But then going into trees, which is something we've directly heard in the story, like maybe Elbaf has a similar belief to the Shandians, and their ancestors are all going into this gigantic Yggdrasil tree.
Yeah. And fun fact, Clover, the only time Clover spoke about stuff that's taboo outside of the tree is what got him shot. I'm just trying to be YouTube friendly.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. He was unalived, you know. And then you have the same thing with Dr. Hilliard living inside a tree trunk.
True.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Tori. God bless you.
I've missed Cube Spice. We've missed you, Tori. Group 2 wasn't the same without you. It was like we were missing that thing we needed to solo.
I've always felt the Tree of Knowledge could have been a great Deku tree, Death and Rebirth. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, and the thing is that people know that if, let's say, a tree gets, like a big tree gets heavily damaged, if the roots are so good, there will be a new sapling that would naturally grow from it years later on, you know? So what if they just made it, you know, this era have done enough. We're not going to destroy it, but we're going to make sure that you can use it. You know, if you can't have it, no one can for this time being.
Keep cooking, boys. I'll be back in like 2 or 3 minutes. Give me 1 second.
Sure, no worries. Yeah. So what do you guys think that, what else do you think we can do with the wood from the Adam tree? As in, you know, just making ships.
I mean, it can make some really, really powerful weaponry, because you got to think one of the major concerns of giants is if their weapons will hold up, because Dory and Broggy fought for so long that their weapons were literally starting to break as they were using them, to the effect of whenever they launched their combined Hikaku sovereignty, they literally destroyed their weapons in the process and then proceeded to fisticuffs the rest of the time on Little Garden. Yeah. So if they have ways to make different, well, that's probably why the weapons lasted for so long anyways, is because they were made with some part Adam wood.
Yeah. And also, I just remembered Mars's fire not be able to go through the shield of the giants, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, clothing. Will also brought up it could be armor and clothing could be made of the atom. Yeah, like the question is like, what can you forge with the wood? That's quite interesting. No, honestly, yeah, I won't lie. If you think about it, I'm very curious because the Adam wood is something that's been, I mean, the Adam tree and Adam wood is something that's been for ages being talked about. So ever since Ennis Lobby.
Yeah. I mean, so, like, think about the paper that could be made with Adam wood.
Yeah, sure.
It'd probably be very durable paper. Almost durable enough to make a world map on that would never be destroyed.
I'm just wondering. We know that there's some connection to Wano, but what if there's also a possibility of creating Weaver cards based off that? Because did we get an explanation in Wano how they can make Weaver cards from it?
Just keratin, but
I don't think Wano is the only place where you can make Weaver cards, because a lot of different people have Weaver cards. I think you have to go every time, especially since it was locked away for so long because of Kaido. But it's Yeah, honestly, I'm very curious about the whole. And like you said, it is quite durable because, dude, 100-year war, clashing every single day. That's quite resistant, to survive that long. It's not like it just was, sitting there on their lap for 100 years. It's basically the lifespan of 1,000 iPhones, not even 1,000,000 iPhones all put together. The wood could be used to make 1,000-year paper. Ooh.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I won't lie. I'm very curious about, and I'm also very curious. Yeah, new slingshot, definitely. The new improvement weapons for, and also think about it, right? We've always debated like, would Zeus at one point damage the climb attack? What if we might get an upgrade for Nami's weaponry? Maybe something that'll be better for Zeus, But yeah, it's gonna get very spicy. I won't lie. I'm happy that it's more lore based than fighting based, at least for the beginning.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's definitely always a good part of an arc, is we actually get to explore the island before there's a conflict or a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, dude, Vivacard, I want to see at one point seeing Vivacard being made because it's the most interesting thing ever. At the same time, it sounds to be very, sorry for the word, disgusting to But yeah, no, I'm very happy because we've had that since I think what? Punk Hazard. We meet someone who has a power of a I'm not saying a conqueror, but it's like facing Poseidon in the Odyssey.
I mean, it's more like Sugar's power of making utopia. Things that.
Yeah, true. As well. No, honestly, it's quite like I said, it's going to be very fun. It's gonna be lore based. I think we're gonna get certain flashback, and I do hope in this island, Elbaf, or the next one, Lodestar, that we are gonna meet a Roger pirate. Beginning of the Grand Line, Crocus was there. Middle of the Grand Line, Rayleigh was there, and Rayleigh was a giant ecosystem island with only humans in it. So it makes sense that the next Roger Pirate, Scopper, or someone else,
You guys
or
can hear
all
me.
of them, might
but
be
they cannot.
either in Lodestar and Elbaf.
Yeah, it's definitely Scott or Gabon. Kube is
And
wrong.
you guys know when there's a Roger Pirate that talks,
Someone clip this.
we eat well, very well.
100% of the time, I mean.
Yeah.
I'm back, by the way.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, couldn't have guessed. I know. Crazy. Yeah. But no, I've been a very big proponent of like I always said it's like it's a video game, there's checkpoints. And I think that the beginning of the Grand Line is one with Crocus. The second one is Rayleigh at Sabaody. And then this third one could be the third in the line of the Roger Pirates, which would, by most people's standards, be Scopper Gabon.
Yeah, and like I said, Sabaody seems to be a perfect. Elbaf seems to be a perfect parallel island to Sabaody, so it could be around that region. Obviously, we all know that I think the next Roger Pirate that they're going to interact with, or the next one who's going to grip Spice, I think it's going to be Scopper. The way they were popping him up more than anyone else in the Odin flashback, like they wanted us to get accustomed to him.
Well, with Scopper too, like, didn't we see who we believe to be Scopper Gabon in a? I don't remember if it was a cover story or like
with what's his name, with Rayleigh.
No, I'm not talking about that one. It was the old man that was smoking the pipe.
Yeah,
and had the tattoo.
Again,
on the
it's
it is
it's a big
speculation.
Yeah, it's still big speculation. It's years and years of people.
Yeah, I think it's Scopper as well.
Talk about the old man with the sunglasses, the smoke, Skypiea thing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I said, it's speculation. It hasn't been proven that to be Scopper, or like there's more to it. I have no horse in the race. I have no idea who that is. I need more to believe that it's Copper.
Yeah. I can't even remember what chapter that was in.
Wasn't it in Skypiea? I'm not sure. I'm just spitballing, but I think it was Skypiea.
I cannot remember. I don't think it was Skypiea. Josh, do you remember?
I remember from the anime.
I do too.
I don't know when.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna figure out where.
So I did the quickest relevant search that I knew I could find for it. I typed in "old dude with a pipe, One Piece," and it was the first image to come up.
Yeah, me too. I just found it by doing that. I just literally, as you were saying it, I did it, and I just found it. I just can't find the episode, the thing question.
Yeah.
I found the panel. Cannot tell where he's at though. It's during Marineford, by the way. I found
during
that.
Marineford.
Yeah, because he's talking about Whitebeard's, attacking the Marines. Because the Shepherd says Whitebeard's old news these days. Surely, like hell, Marine HQ could lose to him. And quote unquote, Scopper said, "Win or lose, there are sure to be many deaths. We should just pray he fails to appear at all. If the execution simply goes ahead, that's best for everyone."
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say if that's indeed, like I said, I need a bit more. But if that's indeed Scopper, he did definitely let himself go by looking at him.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Scopper was much younger than he was much younger than Rayleigh and Roger. Forgot how. Wait, I'll look again. But I think he was much younger than them.
I'm trying to find which chapter this is from.
Oh, good luck on that. Good
Yeah.
luck.
Do we think I brought this up before last time we were talking about LBAC predictions? We thinking Shiki's going to show up?
Probably not.
I mean, like I said to Nak, we were talking about that. The fact that Shiki has been re-talked about in the recent SBS with the guy that the former Shishibukai and some stuff with Cypherpole was Spandam's father, and Spandam did make a small return in the previous arc. I think something related to Shiki is going to come back. Either Rouge is connected to Shiki, so we get Shiki in a flashback, or Shiki comes back in the story. But there's going to be something Shiki related. You do not just happen to speak about Shiki around current stuff that are supposed to happen out of nowhere. And then, there's some interesting themes to this arc with Strong World as well.
Curiously enough, that man is in the East Blue.
Interesting. Dude, if that's indeed Scopper, dude, what happened to you?
Yeah, Scopper, why are you in the East?
Because I won't lie, especially how he was, Roger and Rayleigh and Whitebeard were in their 50s. He looked a bit much younger than them. And he was fighting with, what's his name? With Odin, who was like in his, late 30s, early 40s. He was 39. It makes you think if he was around the same age as him, it makes that, the matchup. It's been 24 years. That means, dude, really let himself go. I mean, he's like what? He should be like 59, 60 years old. Looks older than Rayleigh.
Is he older than Rayleigh? How old is Scopper Gabon? What do we actually?
He was younger than both Rayleigh and Roger. Roger and Rayleigh were in their 50s. Scopper looked to be in his 40s, just like Odin.
We do not.
Again, it's just the way he draws certain characters. Gotta be also Scopper could be from one of those lineage where was in Dog Cute, where they just look older, even when they're younger.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean
could be.
the opposite. Yeah, he looks younger, but he's actually much older. He has that black don't crack type of pigment. I'm just kidding. But yeah, he was definitely much younger. Radiant Roger and Whitebeard were the oldest in that battle. Already.
And Crocus, because he was always an old man.
Yeah, Crocus as well. Crocus, Crocus is there's some it's like Master Roshi in Dragon Ball. Dude has other than one flashback in Dragon Ball. Every time we get a Dragon Ball Roshi flashback back in the day, he was always old.
Yeah, it's because he's the immortal mutant Roshi, bro.
Yeah.
He's looked that way for like hundreds of years.
Chapter 550. Chapter 550.
I already said
Will
that.
is added again.
Yeah, I pulled it up.
Okay, well.
I even dropped it in chat. Yeah.
I'm gonna check the chat, sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, that's how I knew he was in the East Blue, because in the chapter starts out, that's actually the first page of the chapter, after the cover page. The chapter starts out showing the different blues, talking about Whitebeard showing up to Marineford.
I know why I thought it was Shandor Skypea, because of some of the people around him.
Yeah, and the garb looks very different than anything else we've seen in the East.
Yeah, it doesn't look like these blue at all, which is very interesting.
I mean, to be fair, that silhouette we saw in, I think it was 1126 or 1127, could be Scopper. Very long hair, from what we can see underneath the hat. I don't know, man. It's hard to say because of the way that Oda has built up Elbaf. There are so many people who could legit just show up in Elbaf. We could get Scopper, we could get Shiki, we're definitely getting Sol, we're probably getting Arouge. Like, there's just so many.
And I won't lie, I tell remind people that it took us a while to realize that Denjiro, I mean, it was very quickly, but look at the difference between Denjiro in his change, and just, it was instantly, but like how no one after 20 years, even the people around him can recognize him. So it could be a thing of, Scopper might have a complete twist of how he looks like,
Yeah, it could be. Scopper got devolved. His face got kicked so hard it just looks different now.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. Yeah, honestly, I won't lie. I'm quite curious about Scopper, but I'm more interested about Sol and Rouge in the story.
Will, what? The Grand Line enhanced electromagnetic field at higher levels has UV, X-rays, gamma radiation. The longer on Grand Line may kill you through radiation poisoning.
Yeah, that was like, we'll just have full med on.
Yeah.
Hey, that's full conspiracy theory right there.
Yeah, there's a city on the moon type of talk.
You're no more the Will of Dreams. You're the Sheldon of Dreams. That was a very Sheldon sentence.
It was a very Sheldon sentence.
Yeah.
Guys, stay tuned for my next D&D character. It's just going to be young Sheldon in the One Piece world.
Oh no. And then Dill will make a new character. He'll call him Young Amy Farrah Fowler.
There it is.
Hey yo.
Dill will be my wife.
Are you kidding? You're gonna be his wife.
Have you guys seen the discourse about Luffy using Gear 4 attacks in base? Like, I don't know why, but it just seems like it makes sense. Like, he's unlocked Gear 5 now. He wouldn't have to change his complete appearance to go into Gear 4 to use a Gear 4 attack. Like, I don't know. I don't know why people are so, like, shocked by this. It's the natural progression of things.
It's because for so long he had, especially for Gear 4, we had the 3 arcs with Gear 4. Dressrosa, Whole Cake, and Wano, and he always had to go. It's a bit like Gear 2nd. After time skip, found an easier way to get through it. He understood it.
Exactly.
So I think it's just recency. It's just so recent that we're like, whoa, because we're so used for 3 arcs to go in that phase.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been.
Remember, as to what Lucas was saying, whenever you unlock a new level with your devil fruit, the previous levels become easier to use and easier to manipulate.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree. And I won't lie, I did see a pattern that the way that Luffy uses his fire right now seems to be even not a weaker version, but a tier even before Fisherman Island, where he has to make impact like Sanji with double jump and pre-time skip to burn Rob Lucci. While in Wano, he was just literally, as he was pulling his arms, he was already turning to fire.
It's not Scopper, it's Sunbelt the Fishman.
Oh
you know
God.
what? I'm here for it.
I mean, if you think about it, just by his name, Sunbelt, with what we got in this chapter, the Sun God, the Mist Belt, it could be that the next Red Roger Pirates might be Sunbelt.
Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't his name Sunbell?
Oh, I went with, wait, let me check, because I really don't know. Dude, I have so much tabs, it's crazy. Gonna have to close them soon.
All I know is that if I don't type in One Piece
It's
after
Sunbelt.
Sunbelt, it pops up with a rental place near me.
It's Sunbelt. You're right, Sunbelt. You're right, Bell.
White Amber absorbs the radiation as well. Will, I don't know what you're talking about, this radiation stuff, but I'm here for it.
Oh, yeah.
Roger and Whitebeard both killed by radiation poisoning. Well, fun fact, in real life, if you, like, say I was born and I grew to be 8 feet tall, my organs would not be able to properly maintain my body. And as we saw, Roger and Whitebeard were both staggeringly tall men because their will helped their bodies grow. At least that's like the current theory. It makes me wonder if it doesn't have the same ramifications as it does in this world, where like maybe their body's able to keep up with how big they are for a while, but as they get older, it's harder for them to be able to contain that size.
You know what it makes you think of? It makes me think of it's like a cost in this world. You know what I mean? Especially how Wolf Whitebeard, whatever killed, like I said this, it could be that what Whitebeard got at the end was some similar to Roger had, but just Roger had it much faster. And it's weird, but what if Roger, the reason why Whitebeard got it so long is he was not using his will because they both holding their hearts. And we know that Roger gets that illness the year that he goes back up to the One Piece. And he took a break of 10 years. Yeah, he was 53. Which was crazy. And Whitebeard survived for the next 20 years, but he could have been semi-retired. So I'm wondering if it's similar with in the TV show Flash. They played around with the Reverse Flash in one storyline where he was being hunted by the Black Flash, and he realized the more he uses his Speed Force, the more he attracts the Black Flash.
It was me, Barry, when you were kissing your girlfriend when you were 15.
Don't finish that quote. Please don't.
I went into the supersonic speed. No.
But that's why I'm wondering if it's something to do with something happens to you at one point, and it's a cost using your hockey. Similar to how Ivankov talked about, how Luffy talked about his Gear Second. It's a cost to his life force.
Yeah.
You know, it's a cost.
Like I said, I think it's will. I think that's always been what my prevalent theory in it is that it's the will is so big it's causing them to grow to exuberant heights.
Yeah. Like basically the body cannot at a certain point the body can handle it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have a reserve, you know, in a sense. Yeah, I can see that as well. Because both Roger and Whitebeard in Marineford and in the Oden flashback, when they were feeling it, they were both holding their heart when they were feeling an impact.
Mm-hmm.
So I do believe it's will, it's a desire base, you know, that connects back to their heart. But yeah. Yeah, and also Roger is only like 7 feet tall, maybe. Yeah, true. The size thing, and especially with humans, is so interesting. You got humans like Mihawk and Shanks, who definitely Shanks is powerful. Then you have other people who are in a different league, and they're twice their size. Katakuri Doflamingo.
Roger is 8.9 feet tall. That is still gigantic. Like
the moment you said it, Vex wrote he's actually apparently he's 9 feet tall. Vex the moment you said it, that was crazy.
Vex, that's wild. Vex, same brain cell, baby.
He felt, he already sensed it. Future side Vex, how we call it here.
If you guys don't know, Vex has advanced observation hockey. It's wild.
Yeah, just like Vykthor.
Exactly. Wow, Josh. Whereas Whitebeard was 21.8 feet tall.
Dude, Whitebeard for a human in Big
Just
Mom
like me
is
for you.
crazy. We don't know.
Me for
Listen,
you.
until we get proven with Big Mom, we'll say that she's a human. Their size is crazy. I know as small as in Big Mom. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah, Big Mom is just shy of 29 feet tall.
Yeah.
That is wild to me.
I would have loved at one point if Oda just put all the previous 4 Yonkos one after the other. Shanks would look like a ton next to them. Between Kaido, Whitebeard, Big Mom. Yeah, but this is why it's so interesting, because it was an entire storyline, and they tried to do it through science in Punk Hazard. So I'm very curious about the height thing. And then Long Man. Oh, why is everything so long here, so tall? It's because they're so free.
They're so free, yeah. That freedom grants you the ability to get bigger, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's kind of, and then the comment of Blackbeard about S-Hawk being, whoa, they're so tall. Why make that comment? I won't lie. I do feel like sometimes when Blackbeard talks, especially with Luffy, he doesn't talk about how you look physically. He talks how you look spiritually. Like he can sense it. He sees through his eyes. Yeah. He sees who you truly are. So it could have been that what he sensed with S-Hawk wasn't just his height, but it was like he sensed the immense. It's a bit like in DC Comics. Sometimes I've seen in the past in anime how an animation where some people can telepathically sense one of the Green Lantern, Hal or John, and when they sense their power, they says, "My God, what is this power? It's massive." Yeah, that makes you think of that,
Yeah.
Okay, this is for you, Lucas.
Oh, what?
The next answer. It's just say what you just said, and then you have to read Will's next comment.
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask if you, just to clarify, are you talking about when Zoro saw S-Hawk and was like, "You're more human than me, Hawk"?
No, in Amazon Lily, Blackbeard made a comment about their size.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was not about their physical size, because we saw a snake. She isn't that massive. But it makes you think of he sensed their I wouldn't say hockey, but their spirit or their will.
Their determination, their will. That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Will said in the chat, yes, I think energy sources in One Piece is the spiral. Shout out Tainted Marf. He has an amazing video on spirals, which is the same as a polarized electromagnetic waves. Hockey, those waves have 7 to 8 level radio, thermal, microwave, light, UV, X-ray, gamma, and photons, like light and neurorum particles. Photons, neurobeam time manipulation.
Yeah.
I need you to retype out that second sentence, Will. I smell what you're stepping in. I feel like you
and I might have a comment based off that.
Yeah.
Or something that Foxy said. I can't find the panel, but if you look at what Foxy said about his fruit, he could have been speaking about every fruit, not just his fruit. It's just for him, from his experience, that's what he knows about his fruit. And maybe he never met another Delph user. And he said that recently scientists have found out that in this world, that same particle that's in my fruit is present in the environment.
Yeah.
And I think he was referring to all devil fruit. Like, it could be that particle is what's the spectrum of desire. You know what I mean? Like a pollution of desire in this world. Because they would explain a lot of stuff. If, it's a bit like, how in our world the air is polluted. What if that particle pollutes this whole... It could explain all those crazy abilities. Those crazy islands, the huge cactus in Whiskey Peak. Longland. Water 7. Should I go? Reiju Island.
Yeah.
Where stuff are just, it's not normal to have islands like that. Or knock upstream that every 4 months or 8 months, goes up. So it kind of makes you think that there's something like that in this world.
Yeah. I mean, it would not be surprising at all. I thought he was talking about, because he named the particles, and I can't remember what it was. I think it was neurons or photons. But
I think he called it. Oh wait, One Piece.
Yeah, I'm
Foxy
pretty sure
particle.
that before in his statement to Luffy is that it was a undiscovered particle.
So wait, I'll find the term.
It was very reminiscent of tachyons. I remember that.
I found it. I'll download directly, and I'll read I'll read it as I read it. It's an atom that was not discovered by that was not yet discovered by scientists. From any life forms, anything from life forms to liquid and air hits by its radiation. Will not lose in energy, not lose in any energy, but its physical velocity will increase dramatically. And he says, the Straw Hat says, well, a thing like that is not possible. Then he says, not possible. Have you heard anything? Have you learned anything by now? Is that anything in this great sea is possible?
Yeah.
And then he refers about his fruits. I'm wondering if he thinks this is just his fruit, but what if all fruits were like that?
I mean,
okay, I'll drop the panel. So
yeah,
you know. And I find it very interesting that in the official, when they showed us the image, I think I don't know if you have that image. Yeah, it's pink. That's like the anime, which makes you think of that's why it made me think of Desire. Yeah. So it could be that like
crazy that Foxy made damn near the same quote as Willie Cairn, the physicist.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And then Mark is one of this fandom where people say Foxy just misunderstood. He might be.
Yeah, I said it in my arc ranking video. It's Smokey. Why did they say Smokey? Foxy. I think Long Ring Long Land will be one of the most important arcs in Game of One Piece to look back on. And so that only makes sense that Foxy will be part of that. I think Foxy is more than what we know, especially like Davy back fights, the whole atom thing that was not yet discovered. Like I said, it reminds me of tachyons. In real life, we have these hypothetical particles, and I mean hypothetical in the scientific term, so there's a lot of evidence that they exist, but there has not been a definitive proof to it yet. Tachyons move backwards through what we perceive as time, and when he said that quote, that's exactly what I thought of at first.
Yeah.
But
also, Lucas, you have to make up your mind. Skypiea will be revered as the most important arc. Solo Bark will be revered as the most important arc. Now longer and all that. Pick a choice.
One of, but everything ties back to those three arcs. I'm telling you.
I heard you. You were about to say Thriller instead of Three. I heard it.
Yeah, those thriller arcs. All right, boys, we got about 5 minutes left on stream. I need to hear some last minute. What do we think? Chapter 1130. It's a zero number, which those usually have big implications to them, right? Like most of the time when we get like a zero at the end of it, that's a sign that Oda's about to drop some spice on us. So what do we think the spiciest thing of next chapter will be? For me, I think we're going to be a full Elbaf info box reveal. We're there in the land and maybe see the other Straw Hats again. What are we thinking?
Yeah, Elbaf reveal.
And I'm not just pushing for the info box for Elbaf so I can knock it off my bingo card. I need it to happen.
It sounds a lot like Bingo Piece to me.
Not again.
Not again.
You defeated the last guy. Vex
we didn't defeat him. He got the point.
No, Vex, the angry legend, as we call it. He was a big evil character. He was defended by a lurking legend. Someone that was prophesied, Vex, a lurking legend. The fallen hero Thriller Bark.
The fallen hero Thriller Bark is crazy.
Defeated his enemies by biting on his lips, like a certain character from Hunter x Hunter. Sorry, I won't go too far.
Yeah.
Listen,
what do you think? For next chapter,
for me,
yeah.
I think we're gonna get because I don't think that he's completely down for the count, but I do think that we're gonna see more about Rhodes' because I do believe that there is before humbling him, he's going to be delusional enough to not give up. You know what I mean? Try to go back up and being relentless.
Do you think he'll follow them into Elbaf or wherever it is they're going out on the other side of that wall?
I mean, if they defeat him, I can. What is bro even saying? Talking to me or to someone
I
else?
think he's talking to Will.
Vex.
Will is going into
yeah.
a theory spiral right now. See what I did there, spiral?
Oh no! I see what he's talking about. The pink chair. It was something they talked about in the One Piece magazine. The inspiration of Sakura.
Okay.
It's an actual type of it's called purple snow or something like that, and it's basically natural pink snow that appears in certain cold climates.
Yeah, I was also confused for a second. I won't lie.
Yeah. It's at first, then he put the magazine. I remember now. But I've got like eight issues now, so I have to look which one it was again. Must have been one of the first ones I bought.
Dill, what are you thinking for chapter 1130, bro?
So I think as much as we want to see the info box, I don't want you to cross it off your bingo card. So I think I think we're gonna, as soon as we get like Luffy seeing the rest of Elbaf, I think that's when we cut to the rest of the Straw Hats to figure out where they're at.
But I would assume because of how the time that's passed that they've also landed on Elbaf by now.
Yeah.
So either way, I'm getting it off my bingo card.
Yeah, don't worry. We're working on the Fear of Lucas. It's a legend, the great battle that no one speaks about. Vex, the angry legend, versus Vex, the lurking legend, and how Vex, the lurking legend, became the warrior of Thriller Bark.
The warrior of Thriller Bark. It's
don't
crazy.
Worry, the Fury. We're working on the script. We're working on the script
as well. All right, boys. Let's do sign-offs now. Good stream today. Had a lot of spice about the chapter. Let's do it. Go around the table, do closing thoughts a little bit, get everybody's last little bits and pieces of spice melange. Let's start with the musician of the crew, Mr. Joshua Victor. Final thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, very good chapter. Nothing much I have to say about it anymore. I haven't sent yet, so
yeah.
Watch weekly reads.
Yeah, go watch weekly reads.
And read the series
this week. Yeah, read Galaxius. Everybody in the chat, read Galaxius. Very One Piece coded. Next up, let's do the vice captain of the crew, Mr. NoChillDill himself.
Yo, what is up? It's your boy, Straw Hat vexyz here once again. No, I'm kidding. Come check me out over at Dire Regulus's channel tomorrow at 6 p.m. EST, where Group 3 will be doing some marvelous misadventures in the world of One Piece as per the usual. And then you can also check me out next Tuesday at 8 p.m. EST, give or take a little bit of time, to watch Group 2 as we solo as per the usual as well. Yeah,
I've heard Group 2 solos.
Yeah. But we've been saying it for over a year, so it'd be wild to say that no one's heard
it. Next up is the historian / first mate of the Eternal Dawn, Mr. Kube of the Red Sea. Hit me with those final thoughts before we close it out.
What's up, y'all? I'm a 3-day Kube, I won't lie, I'm loving this back to basic with One Piece, more adventure, lore base, and start with an agenda and a mission and a timetable, a nation. I mean, we're gonna get all of that, but I do like this back to basic. It's fun to just discover the places, not think of what's gonna happen next. Like more like I won't lie. I'm compared to the previous arcs, I'm more going with the flow. I am theorizing still, but there's not this thing of trying to what's gonna happen next. The stress is quite fun. Kind of makes you think of pre-time skip Straw Hat, which is cool.
Yeah, that's actually where I'm at with it as well. This whole arc so far, I know we're only about 4 chapters in now, but it really feels like Skypiea or Little Garden. Those arcs that are full of like true adventure. So I have to agree completely. It's really nice to get back to that. I've almost had some trouble trying to come up with predictions or theories off these last few chapters because of that, though. Because of how strong that sense of adventure is. Because I don't even care about thinking of theories because I'm enjoying the story so much now. Which I've enjoyed the story before, but nonetheless, it brings up such this amazing sense, like you said, Cube, of adventure that what a time to be a One Piece fan, guys. What a time to be a One Piece fan. The anime is popping off right now. The manga, we're getting to one of the biggest arcs of all time, one that has been speculated to happen for years and years and years. The One Piece anime remake is coming out fairly soon, from what we know, probably at the beginning of next year. We're also getting season 2 of the One Piece live action. Good stuff. Before we go, I do want to say, go check out, right after stream on the channel, our very own doctor, Smokey Chopper, Grand Line Bound, baby, let's go, has dropped the first episode of Detective Dill. So make sure that you go after the stream, check that out, laugh. If you do not know and you're not familiar... What?
It's not out yet.
Oh my goodness.
Premieres tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST.
Yes, so be here tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST to check out the premiere, the first new episode of the new season of Detective Dill, the Pickle Man, a retelling of how the Eternal Dawn was founded. It's going to be a good time, guys. Very, very good time. Also, check out Monday. Me and Dill over on my channel will be reading some more Tomei. We're doing some horror manga right now. It's a really good time. Obviously, my chapter reaction drops on Sunday. Y'all know that. Don't need to reiterate it. Also, Group 2 solos, Mikey's Men Mutilate, and of course, I've been Straw Hat Lucas, Captain of the Eternal Dawn.
As a last announcement, as you could see, we might be changing a few things, so expect us to see us on stream most likely on Wednesdays and on Fridays. No more Saturdays for the time being.
Yeah, at the moment we're not doing Saturday streams, mostly on Wednesday and Fridays, as Cube has said. But yeah, it has been a wonderful time talking with you gents today. Love you 3-Day in the chat. That's the wonderful, wonderful navigator. Obviously, thank you for Tree and Vex also for coming out. That is the stowaway / struggler and the head cook, of course, respectively. But yeah, Cube, send us off, brother.
And we'll see you all at the next sunrise.
All right, good stream.